There's a documentary that's trying to make the rounds, right? Now, you know, when you making a documentary is so hard. People think that, you know, making Harry Potter is hard. I'm not saying making Harry Potter is not hard. It is hard. But making a documentary literally is like, it could take years. You make no money. You are totally out there, right?
You don't even know if something interesting is going to happen.
You don't know if something interesting is going to happen. Your story could fall apart. You just have no idea. You just got to take your subject and roll with it and hope for the best, all while making no money, all while having no guarantee of distribution, no guarantee of it being any good. And so documentaries are really one of the toughest genres out there. But there's this documentary out called Dying To Do Letterman. And we have the co-directors of the film. And before we bring them on, we want to show you the trailer. Take a look.
I think everybody should tell their friends about it. It's a touching film. It has a lot of grace, a lot of character. Share it with your friends. It's a great film.
Fantastic movie.
Oh, I loved it.
Lots of laughs. Really, really inspired me.
What a great, powerful message. You know, follow your dream.
It was amazing. It was really inspiring, especially for somebody as young as me.
Fantastic, almost touching, inspiring, one of the real movies I've ever seen.
Inspirational, like if you have a dream, follow it.
It was a very compelling story and very, very funny.
Be interested from the moment it started to the very end.
Great movie. I would recommend it to anybody. You come and see this movie.
20 of my friends are here to go see it tonight. I invited 25, only 20 is here.
I thought it was an awesome movie, and I'm spreading the word on email.
My son had seen it the first showing, and he said it was a fabulous film. We had to come see it.
I thought the movie was amazing. I mean, I would totally bring friends to go see that.
I'm telling all my friends about it.
I loved it, and I want everybody in the world to see it.
It was funny, it was moving, it was a bit of a love story too.
I mean, it was a great story. A lot of people told me that it was inspiring and that it was funny, and they were right.
It's an amazing story, it's an amazing guy. It's just inspirational, man.
That's the first time I've seen a documentary in a long time that I didn't want it to end.
I love it. It's off the hook, and it proves that if you really put your back into it, you can do it.
All right, folks, here we go. Let's give it up for Joke and Biagio. Yeah, there it is.
Thank you for having us here. This is awesome.
Welcome to
I
the
wish
show.
I had my own streaming garage. This is bad.
Well, on August 2nd, if we don't get $20,000, you can have this one.
We can move on in.
The network does not go away. Let me explain that much. We'll still be coming up with little things, and we'll do things occasionally. This is not going away.
getting rid of
These
what?
shows are going away. Too much movies will be gone, but we'll come up with something better maybe one day.
Too good for movies will be gone.
It's not going to be gone. You know why? Because you're going to reach your Kickstarter goal.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. Mark's very negative, and he infuses all of us with negativity.
Did I not host a 5-hour telethon last weekend? 5 freaking hours of me singing, by the way? I mean, come on.
He says that now, but then he actually called me. He goes, I was watching. It's pretty fun. Everybody had a good time. It was really fun.
Yeah, actually, I did.
Yeah,
I told
see?
Michael, I was like, people look like they had a fun time.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, so Dying To Do Letterman. First of all, because the trailer doesn't necessarily set up what the film is about. Can you just explain, Biagio, can you explain to us just what the film is about?
Yeah, so the film is about a comedian, Steve Mazan, whose lifelong dream was to perform comedy on David Letterman's show. Ever since he was, 8 years old and the show first came on the air, he wanted to be on David Letterman's show. He was a comedian actively pursuing that dream when he got some bad news. He found out that he had incurable liver cancer, and they told him he might only have 5 years to live. And so in the face of that news, he kind of took stock of his life and he said, you know what? I want to spend the time I have left chasing my dream. I'm going to try to get on Letterman, and I'm going to give myself 1 year to do it. So after shooting for 5 years, I don't want to give away the ending, but the movie is done, and I will say it's not, I think, what most people would expect. You hear documentary, cancer, you're like, I'm not going to see that movie. Steve's a comedian, he's a really funny guy, and I think we tried hard to make sure that his spirit and the fact that he's a comedian and dealing with his cancer with a big sense of humor came through in the movie. And I think you laugh a lot more than you cry in the movie. I still cry every time because I'm a sap, but yeah.
Well, it's it's a terrific film, and what I liked about it is that it was never played for any sort of real pathos or pity or anything like that. You're just following this guy.
Yeah. I just think that so many times, people go in and with an agenda, and you can feel that in a doc, and especially with this subject matter, I felt like the wrong thing to do was go in with any sense of expectation of what we were going to get. We just wanted to follow his story and put it up as accurately as we could, because he's a great guy. He's already amazing. He's already fighting. The drama's there. He's dying of cancer, for God's sakes. It's not like I got to hit you over the head with it every 5 minutes and be like, he's got cancer. He's got cancer. That was never the goal. It was like he's not living his life that way. He's like, I'm not dying of cancer. I'm living despite it. And really, it's not a movie about a guy with cancer. It's a movie about an underdog with a larger-than-life dream who's told over and over again it's impossible, and just has these amazing, obstacles put in front of him, to the point where he's risking the time he has left in his life to chase this dream. And so, I think we just wanted to capture that. I think that was enough. We didn't need to add anything to it,
So how did this come about? Because you knew Steve before he even got his diagnosis.
Do you want to talk a little bit, honey? Because I'm just yakking away here. Maybe you should jump by.
I'm used to that,
She is. Let's let the pretty person talk for a little while.
Aww. Well, we're married, and we run a business together. We started way back when just doing actors demo reels, just cutting actors demo reels and hosting reels and comedian reels, and that's how Steve came to us. And so we cut his comedy reel where, he does a half-hour set and he needs to send 3 minutes of it to some bookers. And so that's what we did, and that's how we got to know each other and became friends, went to some barbecues. And then one day we just got an email from him saying, hey, just go to my site and help me get on Letterman. And so we went there, like, oh, we'll send an email to Letterman, and then it had his entire story. So we called him and said, what can we do?
Yeah, I remember that day, because I remember we were in our little one-bedroom apartment, and like I had my old Mac that I was editing on, like on I think version 1 of Final Cut, and I just heard her gasp from across the room, and I was like, what's going on? And she's like Steve's dying. And I was like, what? I remember running over and just looking at the site, and it was very, you should see it in the movie. It's like, I'm dying to do Letterman, literally. And it was already, his sense of humor was there, but it was weird, and it was like, is this a joke? Is it for real? Like, we didn't know, and so we called him, and we're just like, dude, what's going on? Can we help?
And he had started filming himself, here and there, because he wanted to put little videos up on his website. This was kind of before YouTube, and all that stuff took off. So, we just started working with him and taking some of that video. We gave him one of our cameras, and just, kind of together followed him.
Shoot, we were like, just shoot everything, and really the only, because we didn't want him to be thinking about the movie. We never wanted him to be like, oh, I need to get this kind of scene or this kind of thing happens. So the only creative conversation we ever had with him before we started shooting is he just made one request. He's like, look, I'm going to do this movie. You just got to make me one promise. Even if I die, you still have to finish the movie and make it funny. And we were like, you know what, dude? Why don't you just hang in there? We'll finish the movie together. We'll get there whenever it takes. But we made him that promise, and we promised him that no matter what it took, we'd get the movie to theaters, even if we had to put it there ourselves. And we're gonna follow through on that no matter what. So
you had said something interesting earlier, which is that you made the film it took you 5 years.
Yeah, well,
5 to shoot.
He gave himself a 1-year deadline, and about 3 or 4 months into his first year, he got some pretty, hard news. Well, you saw the film, from the Letterman show saying this is never going to happen. This is just impossible. And so, we quickly realized that this 1-year deadline was probably not going to happen.
It took Ray Romano 11 years.
Right.
Just saying.
So
who's in the film? Who's in the film? Romano's in the film.
Yeah, Steve reached out to a bunch of comics and said, listen, can I get some advice? And Ray Romano, he came and talked, and he said 11 years. But even Brian Regan and some of the other great comedians, Jim Gaffigan, it took him 6 years. So it was very clear very quickly that it was going to take a while. And so, not to be, when we actually got the phone call, where things were moving in the right direction, we were just like, oh my God, is this ever actually going to happen? So, because we shot with him for over 5 years, and then we spent a year editing the film. So
we had like 300 hours of footage, just sorting through it. Yeah, it was a lot. So.
From what you've said about him, it sounds like he didn't want to use this as like a make-a-wish. He wanted to feel like he earned being on the show.
100%. And as a matter of fact, that's why Steve will not do cancer humor really in his stand-up, because he doesn't want the audience to ever feel like, oh, now I got to laugh at this guy because he's sick. Like, he was very clear. He's like, I don't want to be on Letterman because I'm sick. I want to be on because I'm good enough. But he did admit, look, I am asking him to look at me a little sooner than he normally would because I don't have that much time, you know, but I still want to earn my way on. And let me tell you, Letterman, they don't put people on the show just because you're sick. And they made that very, very clear. He wasn't going to get on the show unless he was good enough.
Were there moments of despair on his end where you felt like this is a great moment, but then you sort of know him, so you might want to, do you want to back off? Or when those really tough moments came, how did you react?
Yeah, I mean, from one of the conversations we had with him right off the beginning was, if we're going to do this, it's going to change our friendship a little bit. At least while we're filming, we can't be that friend. If you get horrible news, we can't just put the camera down and like come and give you a hug. It kind of blows the whole point of it. And so there were definitely those moments where you're just like, ooh. There's also the moments as friends where we feel like, what's he doing? Like, he's blowing
like,
this.
come on, man! Like,
you know,
make the right move here. But
you know, we can't. Yeah. You know, it's very. You know, we're documentarians, and you know, we make television shows as well, and. It's actually one of the conversations I had today with some of the people working with us, is that we're there to document the journey and not to influence it. And so it's very, you know, you walk that line, and sometimes as a friend, you know, especially with Steve in this film, it's hard to not just, you know, step in.
Let's just jump in. He's a friend. You know, he's a friend, and that was why it was a hard decision for us to make it. And we told him that when we said, you know, we're not going to be able just to put down the camera and give you a hug. I'd never forget what he said. There was this pause. He just kind of went, "Oh, you just made my tumors hurt," and that was like the first cancer joke he made, and we were just shocked. But that's how he deals with it. You know, that's how he deals with it behind the scenes. He doesn't necessarily take it into his routine, but he has a really good sense of humor about where he's at, and he's doing great. He's outlived his worst case scenario, you know. So,
I would imagine that you personally, as friends, as married people, you learn something about facing adversity from watching him, because you're watching him all these hours over the days and weeks and months and years. I'm sure you probably learned something about facing adversity in your own life and how if he can do it, you can overcome whatever car payment is late or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem so bad.
Well, there were plenty of days where we're like, you know, you wake up and you're like, whoa, woe is me, and then, you know, you go into the office and you're like, oh, wait a second, you know, what am I doing? You know,
what am I complaining about? This guy's dealing with life and death. It puts everything into perspective for you really quick. And I have to say, you know, we've been fortunate that our career has moved forward over the years, and so has his. And I really attribute a lot of that to being inspired by him. I mean, the fact that he would get up every day and just slam himself into this brick wall of no, and keep going, you know, it inspired us. And I really do think that a lot of the reason we were able to eventually have the success we have, you know, making documentary and making unscripted television. It's getting late. Can you tell? It's like way late here at the Streaming Garage.
Wait, you guys do reality shows.
We do.
We'll get a little bit of that. So there's no late for reality shows. You know, we're in the edit bays 100 hours a week easily.
Yeah, but I'm not on camera. I'm behind the camera.
Let me ask. Questions are coming in from the chat room, and I'll ask you guys a couple. I saw the movie, obviously, and you answer this. My answer in the chat was talk about the movie, but maybe you want. Briz J4 from Ustream.tv asked, why didn't they try Conan O'Brien, and maybe for word of mouth he could have gone on Letterman?
Well, you know, it's pretty funny. He actually did get on Craig Ferguson. You know, that was his first television appearance, and we actually do cover that in the movie. Steve was very particular about wanting to make sure he didn't blow his shot at Letterman, and some of that is in the movie, some of it is not, but I think he wanted to make sure that he didn't go on a show that was outside the Letterman family, and then maybe that would be the reason, you know, that would be the straw that broke the camel's back, and even if he got it, and even if he was good enough, they might be like, no, we don't want you, you're on another show already.
Right,
so,
and I mean, but what we do say also in the movie, and what you see, is Ray Romano and Brian Regan and all these big comics saying that Letterman is the holy grail for them, and that of any show, that's who they want, you know. When it was Johnny Carson, everyone wanted to be Johnny Carson, and, you know, Dave Letterman wanted to be Johnny Carson, and then Dave Letterman became Dave Letterman, and everyone wanted to be on the Letterman show. And so it was one of those things where we didn't know this going into the process, but, you know, you very quickly learn from most of those comics that, you know, once you do Leno, there's no way you're getting on Letterman, you know, and so it was very much like he just gambled, and he was like, I'm just sticking with Letterman, and I'm going all the way.
Yeah.
So you were working on the film when Funny People came out. Were you like, is there room for 2 films about comedians who might be dying?
It's really funny that you say that. I was just so like, well, clearly they heard about our documentary and someone took the idea and beat us to the punch. But then I thought in my back of my head, it's going to be so long until he ever gets on Letterman, I'm not even worried about it. So, yeah, I mean, I remember when Funny People came out and we were just kind of like, huh. I mean, his story was out there. People knew what he was trying to do. So, I don't know that story influenced somebody somewhere, maybe yay, maybe nay, but I was never really worried about it. I'm like, listen, this is
nothing
real.
like
Yeah, it's nothing like
yeah.
that. It's, you know, it's the real deal, and we already figured since everybody told us don't make this movie, nobody's going to want to see this movie, no one's going to come to the movie, no one's going to pay to see it, we're like, well, we're doomed anyway, so who cares about Funny People? And luckily, it's turning out that people are actually really responding well to the film.
That's funny, because I actually forgot about Funny People. So it didn't even occur to me, yeah.
Funny People didn't go through the roof when we finally make it to the box office.
I mean, that's so much different anyway. I mean, this is a documentary, obviously, from the heart, and I don't, you know, funny, though. It's definitely funny moments, and he's great. But yeah, I mean, so you guys, I mean, this was just a passion project beyond.
Yeah.
Well, 100%. You know, it was a passion project. It was a promise made to a friend. It was something we were going to see through no matter what. And again, like Steve, he is a really funny guy. Like, you love hanging out with him. You know, you forget after a few minutes that he's sick. And when you're filming the scenes over the years, and it's just like regular everyday stuff. And then all of a sudden it's like there's a scan. All of a sudden it's like, you know, someone he knew from treatment passes away, or things happen, and it's just like, whoa, this is really serious. You know, he's really got this ticking time bomb in him. And somehow he's still going forward. I think he has an awesome message for all of us, which is, you know, live your dream or die trying. You know, it's never too late to chase your dream. I think that's pretty cool.
Now, as a filmmaker, how do you find the time? Because you guys were doing a lot of stuff. So you created Scream Queens, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
So you had that going, right? And you had a bunch of other projects. You guys have a really busy production schedule in your company. How do you find the time? Not only find the time, but I know I'm doing multitasking 20 things at once, but you still just want to stop, right? And you want to go, I just got to focus on one thing. And this always seems like the passion project's probably the one you wanted to focus on. How do you do that? How do you take the time to really get what you want to focus on?
I beg her a lot and bribe her. No, honestly, she's a genius, and she just figures out how to juggle things. I do whatever she tells me, and it's been working great. I married way out of my league, and I just...
so you have to listen to what she says.
So I have to listen to what she says. But I'll let you speak to it, honey, because you are sort of the logistic
Well, it
genius.
is hard. I mean, we're not going to lie. I mean, there's days when you're not sleeping. But, you know, the good thing with our productions is as we've been growing as a company, as we've gotten bigger and you know, gotten to do bigger shows, is we get to hire people, you know, and we get to help, you know, we get help. So it
allows me to sneak away, because whereas early on in our shows, and I still do polishes on a lot of our shows, less so now, but on Scream Queens, especially season 1, I was doing stuff every single episode. And so it's nice to get to the point where, you know, you weed out the people who really can't do the job. You got good people you can count on. So I know, okay, the episode's going to be in shape. I can sneak away for 3 hours and work on a scene in Dying To Do Letterman, you know, and that's really how we juggle it. Although the last year was really the heavy editing. I feel like she's been without me for about 8 months now, because I've really sort of gone into Dying To Do Letterman, and she's been juggling like 9 shows. So bless you for doing that and let me finish the movie. But we're, you know, it's a lot of back and forth, you know.
Now what gets tougher? Doing the movie, or when the movie's finished, now marketing the movie. And the Kickstarter too. I mean, and we'll talk about that, right? Kickstarter. I mean, doesn't the marketing nowadays, social media, everybody's like, this is great, you're in charge of your own destiny, but it's almost better when you had the publicist and you can go like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Now we're killing ourselves once the product's done to get people to see it.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just 1 week into our Kickstarter campaign, and I feel like I'm on crack or something. It's just so addicting to be like, well, where are we?
Refresh,
and
where are we?
And what's going on? And it's a lot of pressure.
I mean, listen, thank goodness for platforms like Kickstarter, and I believe yours is going to be successful.
Yeah.
Because the Kickstarter effect is going to kick in. You will make it, and this show will be back, and you guys can make fun of us for many episodes to come. But I will say, like, we went into this knowing, and especially watching over the years, that it's not the old model anymore. It's not like where you get to be the filmmaker and you just get to release your movie and that's it. Hey, I made it. All right, world, here it is. Like, we have been, and we knew we were going to have to do this. Every film festival festival we go to, we're out in the line, shaking people's hands before they go in, thanking them for coming to the movie. We're working hard to get their emails from them after the movie. You know, we've been keeping our list alive. We've been fighting this internal battle, Indiegogo versus Kickstarter, and reading every single crowdfunding article on the web. And right now, our release Bible is a book called Think Outside the Box Office by an independent filmmaker named John Reese, who's just basically made a blueprint that's like, here's how you put the movie in theaters yourselves. Here's how you do it. So we had this crazy idea. We're like, let's launch a Kickstarter campaign. And this was before we knew that we were going to get to be able to, that we were invited to qualify for the Oscar. It was before we knew about DocuWeeks. And we're like, we'll launch a Kickstarter campaign. We'll put it in theaters that way. And then we got into DocuWeeks, which starts by putting you in New York and Los Angeles for a fraction of what would normally cost. And so we said, well, let's use that as our hook. This is the moment. This is that tipping point. Now we can run around and say, look, we got picked by the IDA to qualify for an Oscar. All right, let's let people know we put our life savings into the movie, but we need your help to get it the rest of the way. And that, I mean, that sort of sums up our whole marketing plan, which is make the movie and then beg people to help us. So
the money that you would get from Kickstarter would be used to
exactly. So basically, the first $37,000, our bare minimum goal that we asked for, that's going to cover all of our costs of playing in New York and Los Angeles. Anything we raise above $37,000, every single dollar we raise above that goes towards following the plan in John Reese's book and putting the movie in more theaters. And if some big distributor comes along and is like, hey, we want to distribute your movie, great. All the money is still going to go to putting it in more theaters. And in conjunction with that, we want to make it a little bit more of an event. You know, like we need to stand out. There's a gazillion movies out there, so we're going to try and tie in a stand-up comedy element every city we go to. And whether we do a little stand-up comedy before the movie or the night before at a comedy club close by, we're gonna make it feel a little bit more like a rock concert and a little bit less like just a movie, because I think you need that today, especially when you're trying to say, look at me, I got no money, I made a movie, please come, you know.
We've had such great response at film festivals with the movie playing in the theater and it being kind of a shared experience. The laughs are louder because you're laughing with a whole room of people, and the emotions are stronger, and every Q&A we've done, everybody stayed for the whole thing, and it's just been one of those things where, if we can give people that experience by bringing the movie to the theater, it'll be,
Well, it's been great, but try to tell the distributor, yeah, my little documentary, I swear it plays bigger on the big screen. No, it's not just for Netflix. Like, really, you gotta see it.
I mean, I went to the premiere. I think I went to the premiere.
Yeah, you went to the
And the worst thing you can do is go to a friend's premiere. I gotta be honest, because then you're like, oh, this is bad. And I have to sneak out. And I think you guys did that. I snuck out because I think I went to the bathroom and came back. You're like, I thought you left.
I did. I
thought it was amazing. It got amazing reaction. It got a standing ovation, well deserved. And I'm very picky. I really don't like anything. I really I don't go to friend stuff because it's just gonna be bad. And it was really great, and it does really play well. It does because you guys also obviously have a very professional quality to it. I mean, you can tell you guys know what you're doing. A lot of times you'll see, we just grabbed a camera and shot. I mean, no, you have the great opening, right? And it's all very professional quality, so you watch it and it feels like you're watching a movie.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
well,
really good.
there are some interstitial interviews that are pretty well shot. What did you shoot those on?
The Red. Yeah, calling a big favor for that. A good friend of ours, Adam Sampson, who's like this amazing undiscovered cinematographer. Everyone's going to want him now. He owns a Red, and he came over and he shot him for us. And so those little interstitials, we couldn't afford to go to a comedy club, and I didn't want to keep interrupting Steve, because the problem with if we went to a comedy club, we'd have to spend 3 hours setting up, 3 hours setting down, and I just wanted him to tell us his story as he remembered it, top to bottom, like no interruptions. So we got those little, plastic bricks and put them on some plywood from Home Depot. And for our interstitial interviews, we built an environment where he could sit there and not be interrupted, where we could go for 13, 14, 15 hours straight, and he would just tell us everything, just top to bottom, how he remembered it. And I think that was important because, he's not an actor. He's not. That sounds really horrible. He's not pursuing an acting career, so he won't be mad at me. But I wanted him to just be relaxed enough to just talk and just tell us how he remembered it. And we wanted it to look different, so you knew that was the narration versus the verite that we shot over, the 5 years. We tried to make that distinction very clear.
We have questions. Let's get some of these. On YouTube, youtube.com/streaminggarage. We are live there. Kellen D. Wood, what's your advice for zero-budget short films?
The advice? Make a zero-budget feature instead. Seriously, I always tell people. Actually, we wrote a blog post a while ago called "How to Make the Leap from Short Films to Features." And listen, I think that short films are great for two things. They're great for having fun and going to festivals if you get in, and they're great for honing your skills. But seriously, if you get to the point where your short films look good, don't spin your wheels. Just go make a feature. Because at the end of the day, yes, it's still great to put your short online, but what are you going to do with it? I really feel like make a feature, get out there, prove that you have what it takes to get it done. Because honestly, just finishing a feature makes you look so much better in anybody's eyes who knows how hard that is to do. I think that's my advice. Honey, what do you think?
What you said.
That's why they're married. YouTube, staying on there. One more question from YouTube. 098GXM asks, did you ever feel like quitting?
No, I think because we were friends, and it was one of those things, and God, this is going to sound horribly morbid, but we felt that at the very least we were leaving his family and his friends with an amazing documentation of his life. Even if it was never big enough for it to be a movie, or people who didn't know him wouldn't be inspired by it, at the very least it would be, because Steve's trying to have children and all this stuff. It's like, it's something to leave behind of, what an amazing person he is and what an amazing, dream. I mean, when he says, it's not how much time you have, it's what you do with it. It's just really something that just resonates. And, when you feel like, moping, you're just like, well, I'm just kind of wasting time now. I'm not really doing anything.
And again, how do you tell the guy that's dying of cancer, I don't know if it's in me to finish this movie, I mean, come on.
Lord Bronco asks, is there anybody you would like to thank for the Kickstarter win?
Yes, I would like to thank Lord Bronco.
Yes.
One of our biggest and most vocal supporters. I would
to.
like to thank everybody, especially Streaming Garage, for having us here, and because I think this has been a great way to. This is the first thing we've done since we've made our goal. But listen, here's the thing. We were shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Like we went out and we're like, we're gonna finally find out if people really care about seeing this movie. And they say you really find out who your friends are when you throw something like this up. And man, to have $20,000 in the first 48 hours, $40,000 in the first week with 400 backers, and 7 weeks to go, I kind of feel like we have a real shot at breaking the six-figure mark. And we'd never be getting the attention we wouldn't if it wasn't for all you guys, everybody, chat realm, everybody on Twitter, everybody on Facebook, everybody who's come out, Lord Bronco, King is a Fink. I could go on and on, but you're gonna chop it out in editing anyway.
No, don't go down. But you're thanking people all the time on the Kickstarter, and you cried, I believe, in one of the videos.
I've cried several times.
Yeah. I cried.
I cried the first day when we woke up and there was $10,000 there, and I was like, holy crap, we're gonna go all the way with this thing. And I was getting crazy. I was like, this is it. We're going for 6 figures, people. And she's like, stop it. You're fucking crazy now. And then, but the day we made it, we called, we found out we made it. We ran screaming down the hallway, and Steve was at a hotel, and we called him on speakerphone, and we're like, we made it. And I don't know, we were thanking him for trusting us with his life story, and I got really.
We got a final question, which a lot of people are asking. Chad Murphy, I'm not in a big city. How the hell do I see this movie?
Chad Murphy, go to Kickstarter, and after you support the Streaming Garage Kickstarter thing, so go to Kickstarter, do a search for Streaming Garage, and give them as much money as you possibly can. When you're done with that, do a search for Dying To Do Letterman, because every single dollar we raise over our $37,000 goal, every single one goes towards putting this movie in more theaters. And if you pledge $50 or more, you get a special edition DVD after we come to theaters. So it's like you're getting a copy of the movie anyway. We're not allowed to deliver it per Academy Award rules, I think, until 60 days after our qualifying run. But early 2012, you'll get that DVD, which has got like an hour of extras and more of me crying and Joke running around screaming and all really good stuff. So support Streaming Garage first, and then go and look for Dying To Do Letterman, and just give us at least $1. You can support for $1. You get a comedy routine for Steve. Some of the other ones are you can get every single joke he sent to Letterman over the years. It's the whole Steve trying to get on Letterman album. Awesome. And then at $25 or more, you get our little dream buttons, which Steve will personally handwrite your dream personally, hopefully thousands of times, on a button that says "I'm dying to." So we've had some really cool ones. One woman wrote, "I'm dying to meet Jimmy Carter," and met Jimmy Carter 5 minutes later. What? The thing is, he was working the popcorn stand at the movie theater, and his name was Jimmy Carter. It wasn't the Jimmy Carter, but it was, and you can see a video of that actually on one of the posts at Kickstarter.
Which is a great little thing you guys do, really quick. I love marketing. It's a great marketing thing you guys do. I'm Dying To. You give buttons after, right? Is it after each screening you do that? And you kind of sign them? And
and before the screens, we go out to the film festivals, me and her throw on blue hospital scrubs. That's our gimmick. And anyone else we can get to wear hospital scrubs. We walk around, instead of just giving people a flyer for the movie, which, you know, when you hand somebody something, it's like saying, would you mind throwing it out for me? You know, we give them a button too. And, you know, Steve is there and he's writing out, what's your dream? And they put the button on. And by the end of the festival, people are complete strangers are having conversations about, like, oh, you're dying to skydive. I'm dying to be an ambassador to South Africa or whatever that one woman's dream was. You know, so it's really neat. It gets everybody talking and relating their own dreams back to the movie. And that's really what the message of the movie is. You know, chase your dreams, no matter what.
One last question and we'll move on to Buy, Rent, or Burn. Because it was brought up earlier. Diablo Cody. Horror Cody. Film writer. What do you think?
I'm going to let you take this one.
No. I'm...
Oh, now they got to play nice. They might be up for an Oscar. They got to play nice people. Now you're the man. All right.
All right. My wife has hushed me, so.
All right, you can be
plead the fifth.
All right, well, listen, not only is Steve's story inspiring, but your ability to stick with it for 5 years and get it done is equally inspiring.
Thank
I
you.
really hope
Thank you so much.
that the movie Dying To Do Letterman gets distributed and you get all the Oscar dreams that you're hoping for. In fact, I'm dying to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Documentary.
Woo! Oh, that's excellent. All right, we're sending you all buttons. You can have them for it won't be your final show.
Yeah, look at that.
I'm expecting to go to the Oscars if you guys make it.
What?
No. Everybody seems to be now.
Apparently, we need to get approximately 39 tickets for the Oscars to this point.
Yeah, keep heading.
I'm sure they're going to give them all to the documentary guy.
Exactly.